Hello, everyone in Radio Land. My name is Mike, Earthling Mike, a sane mind and body until now. Well, we are on a venture, one that you are probably very familiar with, and it's known as Area 51. Along with what we have taken on with this adventure in building our own spacecraft, I've written a little poem to tell you about it. So with no further ado, here it is. There are many areas of life, but nothing more intriguing than to conceive a conspiracy with those who are believing. An area known as 51, defined by charted maps. Its mysteries lure the minds of men. Some truths be known at last. And as we wait so anxiously, we too will make a statement to show the world our own belief in making a commitment. We'll gather up the parts we need with great anticipation to build a UFO ourselves and visit other constellations. First from Rocky, then from Zach. The collection has just started. Melissa, Ann, Chuck, and Bill donated what we wanted. With parts galore, we still need more. Then Betty helped with our endeavor, a spaceship of our very own. You'd say that we're quite clever. A UFO craft for sure is not for the lighthearted. Just watch us take to skies above. From Earth we'll have departed.
Greetings, radio listeners. Get ready to take a ride on the Helmsburg Express. Tonight, the Figtree Fellowship radio players bring you an original story with a familiar setting in a remote area known by many, but seen by few. Sit back and relax as we present Arm 51, a fairy tale. A gravel road runs through the thick forest, a forest alive with the sounds of the night permeating the air, floating among the branches and rising to the treetops. It could be the way the moon shines down on the isolated tree, or perhaps the silent fog plays a trick on the eyes. But here, time seems interrupted. Here in this clearing, one might think that time had skipped a beat, then suddenly stopped. Yes, it's here in the clearing, where out of the dark of night, an old dilapidated train depot slowly appears out of nowhere. Standing tall in front of the station, a solitary lamppost casts its lonely shadow on a warm, damp ground. Jutting from the signpost, the sign with barely legible letters reads, Helmsburg. The sign swings rhythmically in the night breeze, singing a comforting song as if beckoning someone to come. An embryonic spark of light in the station grows brighter and brighter until its warm, inviting glow reveals the hard, dark steel of the cold feel parallel twins, like mystery and death, stretching as far as the imagination. All aboard! The Helmsburg Express. Next stop, your destination. This was no ordinary run tonight. Instead of the usual passenger cars, a single silver car was attached to the engine. Harold, the engineer, volunteered for the midnight shift. He enjoyed the solitude. As he pulled into the station, he blew the train whistle and stopped the train. Harold quickly pressed the appropriate switches and two large sliding doors in the silver car opened. Several small dark figures exited a truck parked in the shadows. They quickly began unloading large crates from the train and load them into the back of the truck. One of the figures approaches Harold and slips him a small package wrapped in aluminum.
Hey, thanks.
The figure makes some unusual sounds, nods, and then disappears into the darkness. Harold engages the train car, blows the whistle, and was on his way. He looks longingly at the small package and slowly slips it into his lunchbox and begins to drool.
So this is the place?
Yeah. This is it.
Are you sure?
This is it, Jack. This is it. What were you thinking it was going to be like? Holiday Inn? Or maybe you'd rather be in prison. I think this is better than prison, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you don't deserve half a chance to redeem yourself to society. Maybe the judge made a big mistake cutting you a break, thinking there was just something in that thick skull of yours that was worth something. I disagree. You proved to me that you ain't got a lick of sense. Lights are off and ain't nobody home.
Please, Dad.
What's the matter with you, son? You don't listen to good advice. You hang around with bad advice. You don't contribute anything of value to the community you live in. All you seem to have a knack for is bringing shame and dishonor to your family. I told you those guys were bad news. If you ain't going to listen to me, then why can't you think for yourself and use your own brain?
It seemed like it.
Because you ain't got a brain.
Ow! Sorry. I'm sorry,
You
okay?
sure are. Get out of the car
All right, I'm going.
and take your bag. Yeah, find your own way home.
Jack just stared at the ground as his father sped away. He turned toward the farmhouse just as a police car pulled up and stopped. The police officer assisted his passenger out of the back and got a bag out of the trunk.
Well, now, Davy, this is the place. You mind yourself and you ought to be okay. Don't forget to check in with your parole officer every week. Now, that's your responsibility. Okay, then I'll be gone. But don't mess this up, Davy. Just don't mess this up.
Dave and Jack made eye contact.
Hey,
Both boys stood in silence and stared at the dairy farm.
damn, take a look at that.
Yeah, just shoot me now.
With a distinct lack of enthusiasm, the two boys shoveled into the main office, and they were greeted by the farm manager.
Oh, you're here. Okay. Well, but supper's in about an hour in the food farm. That's where you'll meet. There it is. The kitchen's super hot. Well, she's in charge over there. Yeah, she's something else. Runs tight ship. Okay, so you start work tomorrow in the dairy barn. 5 a.m.
Oh,
Breakfast is at 4.
oh.
Yeah. Okay, I won't miss dinner. Harry will be looking for you.
Okay. Thanks.
The two boys found their bunkhouse easily and threw their belongings on the 2 empty beds. On the dresser was a generous helping of cheese and crackers with a note that said, "Eat up, boys."
Don't mind if I do. Oh, this is good. Jack? Yeah. You should have some.
Yeah, sure, okay. So let's get going. We don't want to miss dinner.
Oh, right.
Dave grabbed a handful and loaded up, and Jack just took a few crackers and then headed to the food barn for dinner. The hall was full and everyone was lined up to eat their food. No one spoke, but those already in line stared momentarily at the newcomers. A short, stocky woman appeared from the kitchen.
What have we here? New inmates. You are wearing city clothes, but you have changed them, and then you will fit in. Sally, give these two a double portion of all food items.
Yes, Master. Here are the amino acids.
Jack and Dave looked down at their food in amazement.
Well, boys, what are you waiting for? Eat up.
Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.
Jack and Dave sat alone at a table and couldn't help but notice how Harriet kept her piercing stare fixed on them both. They quickly ate and then retreated outside.
Hey, Jack, does this place feel, I don't know, like weird or grungy or what? And that Harriet, she's weird.
Oh, yeah. Hey, did you catch how she just stared at us while we ate? Oh, yeah. It's definitely weird, for sure.
Right.
And grungy. I mean, the food was okay and all, but it's the little things.
Right.
Like dust on the shelves in the bunkhouse. And the grass doesn't look like it's been mowed in ages.
Right.
And I swear my water glass looks like it hasn't been washed for years.
No, exactly. I feel like I need a shower. I don't want to touch anything.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder about my bed, if I even want to sleep in it.
You know, the kitchen's dirty too. Is that why you didn't eat your mac and cheese?
Well, not really. No, now that you mention it. But actually, I'm lactose intolerant, and I have reactions to milk products.
Right.
I bet they don't cater to special diets either.
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, this is a dairy farm, so I'm gonna bet they're gonna be feeding us a lot of dairy.
What was that?
Hello? Huh. That was weird.
Yeah. Not only is this place grungy, but people sneak around and spy on me. Definitely weird.
Yeah.
Jack had a restless night, occasionally waking up to the faint sound of a train whistle in the distance. At 4 o'clock in the morning, an annoying sound rang through the bunkhouse. Dave and Jack stumbled their way to the dining room for breakfast. They got their food and sat at the table. Jack rubbed his eyes and then lifted the melted cheese off his grits while Dave just dug right in.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna avoid Harriet, but here she comes.
Oh, no, not her.
Greetings, boys. Is something wrong with your food, boy? Is this flavor spectrum not pleasing?
No, well, no. You see,
Has a feline creature got your tongue? Eat up. It will be a long day.
Harriet slapped Jack on the back laughs again and turns, disappears into the kitchen, all while continuing to mutter.
Jack, why didn't you say anything? You should have said something.
Dave stopped abruptly and looked around the room.
Actually, have you seen anything odd?
Not really. I think the odd is just running the room. What's up?
Okay, so look at those guys at the table next to the window.
Yeah, so? I mean, apart from them being kind of quiet.
Yeah, they haven't said a word since they came in the door.
Jack looked around the room. There were plenty of people eating, but no one was talking. They were all slowly eating their breakfast, getting up, putting their plates in the sink, and silently scuffling their way out of the building.
Yeah, I see. There's no conversation whatsoever. That's kind of weird.
Jack got up and approached the other table.
Hey, folks, enjoying your breakfast?
They all stopped eating and turned a blank stare right at Jack, but no one spoke a word. They just stared.
Okay then. Sorry to bother you folks.
Jack returned to Dave.
Dave, every one of those people is drooling.
What? No, you're kidding.
No, I'm drooling, like spit dripping out of their mouths.
Ugh.
Man, it's creepy.
That is disgusting. And yeah, definitely creepy.
I can't stay in here. It's freaking me out. Come on. Besides, Madam Creepy just might come back again.
Yeah. Okay. No, wait. Let me get a box for my cheese Danish. Dude, you should grab some. It's so good.
Man, forget that. Come on, it's time to go to work.
Jack and Dave waited around for about a half an hour before the manager showed up.
Oh, well, welcome, boys, to your first day at Farm 51. Okay, guys, here's some stuff you'll need. Boots, gloves, stuff. Okay, you're gonna clean all. Come on.
He seems to enjoy his work.
Yeah, I bet he makes the manager within the year. Oh, no, wait, he already had.
Okay, there's shovels over there. Scrape out the food and old straw over there. Empty that into a big pile over there. And then put some new straw. Just clean them up, like that. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Jack and Dave just stared, so the manager kind of wandered off back toward the dairy barn.
Hey, don't hurt yourself or nothing. I feel inspired to bust a gut. How about you?
Yeah. Have you noticed how many stalls we're talking about here?
Yeah, I noticed.
By the time the heat of the afternoon had set in, Dave and Jack were comparing notes on the finer aspects of stall hygienics.
Okay, but if I keep the scoop parallel to the substrate beneath the straw, right? And accelerate the initial forward thrust, there's less friction, hence less effort needs to be expended. Therefore, I do not wear out as fast, and therefore I am happier.
Yeah. And happy is what we're shooting for.
Right?
I'm all about the happy. But looky here. You see that? You get the fiddle on the scoop, but you keep the bulk of the load closer to the end. Don't load it up too much.
Right.
You seeing this?
Yeah.
Then, when you go to fling it, you get some momentum on that scoop. In a rising arc. Right before the arc reaches its apex, you snatch the scoop down out from under the tube.
Unless it's the pasty stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That stuff needs a bit of straw between it and the scoop to keep it from sticking.
Right.
Hey, you know what we need is a pitchfork for the straw.
Oh, Jack, don't look up. Somebody's watching us.
Where?
tracker. See, peeking through the cap on the other side.
Yeah.
Hey, take a picture. It'll last longer.
At that, the observer ducked out of sight.
Hey, you keep working. I'm gonna sneak around the building and find out who our secret admirer is.
Okay.
Pretty soon, Dave emerged with a young woman in tow. Dave shoved her toward Jack.
What are you,
Here's our spy.
spy? I'm no spy. Who you guys are speaking to? I haven't seen you around before.
No, we got in yesterday. What's it to you?
Well, you're new to that song. I just wanted to see who came in. Not a lot of changes around
All right. Well, I'm Dave.
Dave and the young woman turned to Jack with expectation, but Jack just stared with his mouth open.
here. What's his problem?
That's Jack. He probably needs coffee.
Oh, well, I think I've been here for 3 long years.
Hey,
Oh, pardon me. I'm Jack. Pleased to meet you.
April smiled at Jack and slapped his shoulder.
So, welcome to the farm, boys.
Say that again.
What? Welcome to the farm?
Yeah. A minute ago, you were all sleepy sounding. And now you're, well, almost normal.
What do you mean normal?
Well, everyone seems like they just woke up around here. They haven't had their coffee yet. All day long. Well, everybody except that, what's her name?
Oh, I guess you mean Harriet.
Yeah, Harry.
Yeah, about that. You've got to be careful around here. Things may not be what they seem.
how so?
I can't really say. You just can't trust anybody. So do what you're told, keep your head down, and you'll be okay. But listen to me. Don't eat the cheese. I don't, even though it can hardly be avoided.
What is it? Poisoned or something?
Yeah, in fact it is.
You're joking. No, but like, tell me you're joking.
I'm not kidding. Don't eat it. It makes you into a zombie. I'm only saying this for your own good. That stuff will close you down.
Yeah, I see. I get it. You've been around here too long and you've lost it and you're just as loopy as everybody else.
Yeah.
What? You don't understand. I'm the only one who's sane. They're all crazy.
Yeah, okay, you can go. Yeah, Scoop, we got work to do. Go.
Bye-bye.
We're busy.
Okay, but you'll see. The little people won't tolerate it.
Did she just say little people?
Yeah, she did. You know, she kind of scares me a little.
Yeah, too bad. She was hot.
Oh, good grief, Jack. Well, I mean, there it is. Eat the cheese and the little people will come for you. You see what we're up against here? We're doomed.
Yeah, I don't know, Dave. Have you noticed every time food is involved, there's cheese?
Oh, come on, Jack. She's nuts. I like cheese. Might be nice to have something that doesn't have cheese on it, but it's a dairy farm. They probably get it for free or something.
You know, maybe so, but I'm just saying.
That night, Jack awoke to a faint whistle, and then suddenly the noise turned louder and strange. He jumped up out of bed and went out to investigate. He heard the sound of crying out in the feedlot, so he walked towards it. It was April.
Bro,
Startled, April looked up and instinctively stepped back, wiping her eyes, trying to hide her tears, but it was obvious.
Jack, what are you doing out here so late?
I couldn't sleep. Actually, I couldn't stop thinking about you. About what you said.
Well, you shouldn't be out here, Jack. You should go back to your room. Really, you should just go now.
But you're crying in the feedlot in the middle of the night, April. I can't just walk away from that.
Well, do it anyway. I'm okay. And besides, it's none of your business. My issues are private, so just go. Go on, get it.
Okay, but wait.
Go
wait.
now.
Okay, go.
So Jack reluctantly left, walked around the corner, but he stopped. He snuck back and watched April from a distance. She kept looking at her watch. A light started to glow as something approached from the west. Jack ducked down behind some barrels, as the light grew more intense and the sound grew louder. Jack couldn't see what was happening, but by the time he peeked over the barrels, the sound had ended. To his surprise, April was standing next to a cow. She walked it out of the feedlot and over to the stall in the barn and closed it in. She turned to face Jack standing right behind her.
Oh, jeepers, Jack! Stop doing that! What are you doing here? Didn't I tell you to go back to your room? What did you see, Jack? What did you see?
I saw a light, and I heard a noise, and there you were with a cow. April, there were no cows in that feedlot. Where did that cow come from? It's like it appeared out of thin air.
Darn it all, Jack.
April, where did the cow come from?
Look, sometimes our cows wander off the farm and get into the neighbor's place. Normally, no one is allowed to go on their land, but the cows don't know that. They're just dumb animals. I'm the only one allowed to go over there and bring them back. It's my job, Jack. That's what I do here because the neighbors know me and they won't shoot me.
Shoot you? What's going on over there that they would shoot anybody for anything?
You don't know? You really don't know?
No, what?
About the military base? Haven't you ever heard of Area 51?
Area 51? That's out there? You gotta be kidding me. We're next to Area 51? With the alien thing and the conspiracy and cover-up stuff?
Yes, Jack. All of that is right next door. See how the lights glow into the lights? They're our neighbors, and they're very strict about keeping people out of their stuff.
Okay, I didn't know that. So, you were out in the feedlot because you were bringing this cow back from over there.
Yes, I drive a truck and a trailer to pick them up. The cows get out somehow. Maybe a gate doesn't get latched or something. It happens way too often, and I can't figure it out. Now, please go back to your room and mind your own business and just don't rock the boat.
Mostly unsatisfied with April's explanation, Jack returned to his room, but the boat may have already been rocked. Sunday came, and Jack awoke to an empty bunkhouse. He walked over to the food barn to see Dave already seated and eating a breakfast that looked like it was made for three. It made Jack queasy, so he decided to skip it and look for April, but no luck. He went back to the bunkhouse and spent the day reading comics that he brought from home. The day passed uneventfully. The next morning, Jack was summoned to the farm manager's office before breakfast.
Oh, hello,
Jack.
Jack. Have a seat. Harriet tells me you haven't been eating properly.
Oh,
She says you're very picky and like a bird. Are you having some problems? Ill? Or maybe the food is objectionable?
No, I'm just what you call lactose intolerant. And, well, it seems as if most of the meals served so far have been swimming, have had cheese added to them. I have serious reactions to milk products. It seems kind of ironic, don't you think? Working at a dairy farm and all.
Ironic. Yeah. Okay. I'll touch base with Harry. She's not gonna like it. But I'm sure we'll work something. Harry is like everyone here. We wouldn't want to hurt her feelings now, would we?
No, I wouldn't want to hurt your feelings. No.
So please try to eat well.
Okay.
You're
No, thank you, sir. I would appreciate that. I was getting worried. I was going to have to live off bread and crackers the whole time.
Have you been comfortable in your accommodation? Sleeping well?
Yes, everything is fine. No problem.
Okay. Then off you go. Wouldn't want you to miss breakfast.
Oh, no, thank you, sir. I'll just grab something to eat and get right to work.
Jack stood outside the manager's door for a few seconds and pondered how odd that conversation was. Jack went over to the dining room and joined Dave at his table.
Morning, Dave. You sleep all right? Missed you yesterday.
What?
I said, did you sleep all right?
Jack?
Yeah, it's Jack, Dave. Look at me. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just a bit tired this morning, I guess.
Dave, we didn't work yesterday. It was Sunday.
This stuff is delicious, Jack. Have you tried this cheese souffle?
Come on, Dave. You know I can't eat that stuff.
It's wonderful. It's delicious.
Yeah, you said that already.
I did?
Yeah, are you all right? Hey, wipe your mouth, man. You're drooling. Look, here's a napkin. You're not getting sick, are you?
No, I'm fine. I'm just kind of tired. I hope you're not planning on getting all the stalls clean today. I just don't think I'm up to it.
No, don't worry about it, Dave. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Have you seen April yet?
No, but she better get some of this souffle before it's all gone. I'm going back for some more.
Oh,
Jack grabbed a few sausage links and biscuits and headed out to find April. He found her in a calving stable tending to a newborn calf.
hey, April. The farm manager just called me into his office and asked why I wasn't eating the food. He said Harriet complained that I wasn't eating her food. What's this all about? Why would anybody care about what I was eating?
It's what you're not eating, Jack.
Oh, let me guess. The cheese?
Yeah, that's right, the cheese.
Why is that? What's so great about the cheese? I mean, apart from Dave being fond of it.
Dave's eating the cheese? Has he started craving it?
Oh, yeah. He was just going on about how great the souffle was. Oh, and drooling over it.
Well, that's just great. Jack, the cheese seems to act like a sedative. It hampers thought. Once somebody's eaten enough, they begin to crave it and they're hooked in. Either hell or high water to keep them away from it. It's basically an addiction. At first, I thought this was some kind of therapy for us, since we're convicts and placed in a work program and all. I figured it was to keep us from running away, but I've given up that idea. There's something scary going on here, Jack. I mean, really scary.
Does this have anything to do with why you were crying the other night?
No, I mean, yes, the truth is, Jack, I bring the cows out so they can take them away to the military base.
You what?
I don't ask any questions. I do my job. I act like I eat the cheese and I don't rock the boat. All I want is to not rock the boat, do my time, leave this place, and pretend I was never here.
Wow, that's bizarre. I wonder what's going on. So they take the cows to the military base?
I think so. At least they fly off in that direction and they come back from the same way.
What do you mean fly?
Well, this machine flies in, stops, and hovers over a cow. Then a light shines onto the cow and picks it up. It flies over toward the base. A little while later, it comes back and places the cow where it was before, and then it leaves the same way it came. At that point, I take the cow back to her stall.
Wait. Whoa.
Only, that's not all. Sometimes the cow is returned with her parts rearranged, and then I have to
What
deal
do you
with it.
mean rearranged?
All I can say is that that cow doesn't survive the trip. And then I have to deal with that at 3 in the morning.
Oh, April.
It's a hard thing to do, Jack. I feed these cows and I help them deliver their babies. The person gets attached. Sometimes, Jack, I'm tempted to just eat the cheese and forget about everything.
Oh, April, this is horrible. I have to admire your fortitude, though, really. Even when it hurts, you keep on tending the cows and loving on them.
Just because I don't like what's happening. Well, the cows, they need a friend, you know. Someone familiar to come home to. Who's kind to them. And speaks Jack.
Yeah, some of us humans don't even have that.
That's so true. My home wasn't a safe place, and the people living there were not kind or gentle.
I hear you, April. I know.
You too, Jack?
Yeah, with me it was always something to do with my dad.
April reached out, and the two hugged in a birthing stall on a dairy farm somewhere in Nevada in the Western Hemisphere on the planet Earth. It was the first tender physical contact that Jack had had in a long time.
Gosh, that was another great meal. Thanks, Harriet.
Good to see you are cleaning up your plate. We do not want you to waste it away to nothing and cease to be a farm worker.
Oh no, I wouldn't want that either.
In reality, Jack was removing cheese from his food and feeding those things to Dave. A few days later, Jack and Dave were cleaning the stalls when April came in to check on one of her soon-to-be mothers.
Psst. April,
What?
April, I need to talk to you.
Okay, but shh. Hey guys, would you clean this stall? The cow's gonna give birth any minute. We need it cleaned ASAP.
Okay. I'll be right there.
No, don't worry about that one, Dave. I'll get it. Why don't you clean that one over there? She looks like she's about to deliver too.
Okay. I'll go over there.
Talk, Jack, but just keep on working.
April, if you wanted to get into the military base, how'd you do it?
What? Are you nuts? Those people are serious, Jack. They'll shoot you just as soon as look at you.
April, whatever it is that's going on here, it's not good. Everyone on the farm is loopy. Flying machines are taking cows in and out of a military base, and some of them come back scrambled. That's mighty curious, don't you think?
Oh no, Jack. You're about to rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat, me. I'm gonna find out what's going on, whether you help me or not.
Okay. Let me think about it.
Great.
About a week later, Jack was waiting for April in the feedlot at 3 in the morning.
Jack?
Over here.
Okay. I've been instructed to bring a cow here in 15 minutes. So here, you get into this thing while I slip into this other one.
This is crazy. A cow costume? You really think this is gonna work?
Yes. It's the only thing I can think of. Besides, I've never seen anybody go in or come out of one of those flying machines. I think they're just. And don't forget to be big rock.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Jack rolled his eyes, but did as April instructed. He stepped into the back half of a cow costume, and April stepped into the front half. They secured the belts and straps that held the costume together, and then they just stood there. Every once in a while, April moved, and Jack was all hunched over and was getting a backache from holding on to the rock. The light beam hit the costume cow and began lifting it up.
Oh, I feel sick.
As soon as they were inside, they lost their balance and fell over.
Hurry up, let's get out of this costume and hide it.
Don't forget to put the rocks back on the top.
Yeah, sure. Quick, hide.
As soon as they hit, the machine suddenly stopped, hovered for a while, and then the rock disappeared from the platform in a flash of light. Nothing happened for a moment, and then the machine touched the ground and shut off. Jack felt the wall for an opening. He found a button by what looked like a door. He pressed it, and the door opened.
Hey, it's dark out there. You must be in some kind of warehouse or garage.
This is crazy, Jack. Really crazy, you know that?
Yeah, crazy like a fox. Your idea worked, April. You're a genius. Come on, let's look around.
Over here, I found a door. And it looks like nobody's around.
Hey, let's look in there.
Jack eased the door open just enough to be inside.
Oh, holy smokes.
Let me see. So cold in here. Wow, it's a warehouse full of cheese. Look, it says American Cheese, U.S. Department of Agriculture. It's government cheese, Jack.
Yeah, there's tons of it. I've never seen anything like it. Come on, let's keep looking. Hey, there's a light coming from under this door. Let's look in here. Come on.
Jack, I'm so cold. I just want to leave. I think someone's in here.
Hey, get back. Over there, let's hide. April, I think they're making cheese. See those large refrigerated tanks? That's probably raw milk. And look over there. I've seen tanks like those before on farms back home. Those are curdling vats.
Jack, why would a U.S. military base be making hundreds of thousands of pounds of cheese?
I don't know.
Jack, the cheese stored in that other room. That looked just like the cheese Harriet uses on the farm. Jack, what's that man doing over there?
But it looks like he's removing a coat. Or, oh, no way! He's peeling off his skin! It's a costume! Oh no, it's not human, April! That's an alien!
Let me see.
Hearing April's scream, the alien looked up. April and the alien made eye contact. Quickly, several of the small figures reached over and took a hold of April, pulling her out of the doorway, unaware that Jack was hiding behind the door.
Jack, get away.
Paralyzed with fear, Jack slipped further back into the darkness of the little room and squatted down. April was ushered out of the machinery building and off down the hallway. Jack remained hidden while chaos ensued. He felt helpless and ashamed that he had hid instead of saving April. But what could he have done? It suddenly became eerily silent. So he peeked out through the crack in the door. No one. Jack sat back in the darkness to process his thoughts.
I know what I saw, and it wasn't human. That was something else. April knew something was weird. They must be using drones to move cows in and out of the processing facility. What are they doing with all that cheese? There's so much of it. This operation must be huge. And what about that Harriet? She's short. She's about the size of that alien I saw. Wow, and she was so convincing. I have to do something, but what? I don't have a gun, or a bomb, or anything.
Jack sat back against the wall to think some more. He noticed that the wall was noticeably cold. Oh, of course it was. He remembered reading about how cheese used to be stored in deep underground caves because they stayed consistently cool all year round. Well, he had an idea. Jack peeked out of the door. Then he snuck out of the processing area, back down the hall to the storage warehouse, slipped inside, and began to snoop around looking for thermostats and temperature sensors. There were a lot of sensors.
Now, let me see. If I follow these wires,
Following the wires, he found a side room. That must be where they control the cooling units. But there were 3 little figures in the room, and Jack thought for a second. Taking a deep breath, Jack took action. Jack grabbed the little people and tossed them out the door. 1, 2, and 3. It was surprisingly easier than he anticipated. He closed the door and locked himself in. He felt exhilarated. Jack had to act quickly. Examining the control panel, he located the temperature control and reset the lever to its warmest setting available.
now let's see. Ah, there. This screwdriver should do the trick. I'll just jam it in here. Great. Now, there's got to be another way out of here, and I'll take care of the rest of this mess.
Jack found the exit door and ran to an outside door. He could already feel warm air flowing into the warehouse from the air vents. He went outside to find the cooling unit.
Now, the cooling tank should be, over there.
Jack opened the drain valve on the tank. The coolant began to drain from the tank, and Jack turned and ran. Jack circled around the coolers and headed back inside through a different door. He ran down the corridor to the garage where the flying machine was parked. He burst in, but stopped abruptly when he saw April standing in the entrance to the flying machine.
Jack, no, it's a trap.
Jack ran at April, but he didn't join her. He shoved her inside and closed her in. Turning around, he realized he was surrounded by little people. Slowly, he eased his hand over the button on the wall next to him. The flying machine vanished. Just then, a man in black stepped forward from the crowd, pointing something at Jack, and everything went black. When Jack regained consciousness, he was lying in his bed in the farm.
Whoa. Where am I?
You're in your bed, Jack. How do you feel?
Like I'm hungover from a rock concert.
That'll pass. You're gonna be okay. Here, drink this.
What's this?
It's water, Jack. You do remember water.
I see you haven't lost your sense of humor. What time is it?
You mean what day is it? It's Monday. Monday, August 3rd.
What?
Jack, you've been missing for over a month. We thought you were dead until you turned up out there in the feedlot last night. Brought you in and put you to bed, and April's been sitting with you all night.
Wow, thanks.
That was a brave thing you did, Jack.
Me? Brave? What are you talking about? Are you kidding?
Seriously, don't you remember?
Remember? Remember?
Jack shook his head because there were moments and memories back there. They were faint, but slowly coming into view.
Just take it slow.
I remember now. The warehouse, and the cows, and the cheese.
That's right. And what else, Jack? What else do you remember?
I don't know, it all seems like a dream or something.
Well, I'll fill you in. You discovered that the cheese we've all been eating was contaminated. It was making everyone sick. It was a rash decision on your part to turn off the thermostats and drain the coolant. But that did it, Jack.
Did it? Did what?
Save the farm. You saved the farm. All the workers and ranch hands had been eating the stuff became so sick they couldn't work. But after a couple of weeks without it, they all returned to normal. And you're a hero. We just can't figure out what happened to you for all that time.
Hero? Me? I just don't know. So, what about the aliens? You know, the ones from Area 51.
Now we know you've been out in the sun way too long.
What? April, help me out here.
Jack, now you know there's no way anyone could ever get into Area 51. And aliens? Well, I suppose you could have seen some during your time out in the Nevada desert.
Yeah, people are always claiming to see stuff out there at night.
What I think you need is to get out of that bed and eat something to regain your strength. The farm needs all the help it can get.
Jack sat for a moment, thinking hard, trying to remember. He slowly rose and walked over to the window to take a long look outside. He felt pretty good, even though he was feeling somewhat different. He turned around as the farm manager walked inside the room.
Jack, we owe you a debt of gratitude. Your quick thinking saved the farm. Thank you, Jack. If you want to stay at the farm, we can offer you a paying position.
Jack thought about it. He could call his dad and go back home, or stay at the farm, and make a life of his own. It didn't take him long to decide, and with that decision, all the uneasiness was gone.
I'll stay on one condition.
And what would that be?
Well, April, would you be willing to stay here too? I mean, if you want to, that is.
Yes, oh yes, Jack.
Of course. Well, the both of you then. We need all the help we can get. We've been short-handed in the kitchen since Harriet and Sally suddenly disappeared, but you two, hey, take a few days off before reporting for work. You've earned it.
Yes, come on, Jack, get dressed. I have something I want to show you.
Jack got dressed, and the two went outside. April sat on the hood of a parked car next to the house.
Well, what do you think? I bought a car.
Wow, you bought a car. Nice car. You planning on going places?
I was hoping we might go places together, Jack.
Jack stepped up close to April. He reached over and pulled her tightly toward him. April laid her head on his shoulder, and the pair held each other for a long, long hug. Jack relaxed his hold and leaned back a little.
Let's go into town and get something to eat.
Why, Jack, are you asking me out on a date?
I'd be a fool not to.
Well, obviously you're not a fool. You're a very smart man.
Jack politely opened the car door for April. Jack and April took their time at dinner that evening, and then they drove to an isolated ridge overlooking the dark Nevada desert. It was almost midnight. Full moon had risen to its peak, and the stars pierced the sky like diamonds. In the distance, a silent locomotive pulling a single silver car glinted in the moonlight and went unnoticed by the pair. As it faded into the horizon, a single low whistle broke the silence.
Did you hear that?
No. What?
Oh, never mind. But what are those boxes in the back seat of the car?
Oh, just a little cheese. I thought it would make a nice gift for your dad.
You've been listening to Farm 51, a fairy tale. The Figtree Fellowship radio players invite you to tune in next time for more exciting radio adventures. This is Radio WFIG, over and out.
They're leaving. You can tell them.
Jeez. Stop the street.
Yeah.